Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the Carpinteria Summerland Fire Protection District. Can I please have a call to order?
Susie Cawthon.
Here.
Jenna Jenkins.
Here.
John Nicoli.
Here.
Randy McLeod.
Here.
Doug Qualls.
Here.
Robert Kovac.
Here.
Wonderful, full house. This regular meeting tonight is being broadcast live over Government Access Television Channel 21. A recording will be posted on the City of Carpinteria's YouTube channel for future viewing. Doug, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you.
Please join me in honoring our flag and our nation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Item C on the agenda is introductions, proclamations, presentations, and recognitions, of which we have none. Item D, public comment. I don't see any public comment. Thank you, Grace. Item E, correspondence. Chief, would you like to direct that?
Yeah, thank you. So our first is a letter from Santa Barbara City Battalion Chief Corey Cloud. He was leading a strike team of brush engines to the Thomas Fire, and one of our engines was part of that strike team of 5 engines. That was July 2nd through the 7th, and he's just thanking our crew for their positive attitude and exceptional work ethic. That crew, consisting of Captain McMahon, Engineer Donner, and one of our newest firefighters was part of that crew, and that was Brendan Ryan. The second is a letter that was kind of time sensitive, so our president submitted this letter to the County Board of Supervisors for the ambulance contract. What was going on is Santa Barbara County Board of Supervisors was having multiple closed sessions to decide what to do on that contract for the AMR litigation. And many of the jurisdictions stepped up and wrote letters of concern about the litigation, including our district. Many other districts and cities sent the same similar type letters in, basically asking the board of directors not to consider settlement that would not improve our current service delivery model. So that's a nutshell of what this letter is saying, and it represented what many other letters were also sent in. And then third is just a notice that we are starting our process for our annual audit, and this is from the same company we have been using in the past few years or even further out, and it's a formal advising to our board president and myself that they are coming to do our annual audit, and it is scheduled for next month.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And we will move on to the item F, which is approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Minutes are approved, and we're going to go on to item G, which is financial matters. I have one I think I've asked this question before, and I can never remember the answer, so that tells you a lot about, on Fund 3630, so that would be page 3 of 4 on the first, there's 2 equipment maintenance accounts, and I'm just can't ever remember. One of them is 67,000, one of them is 120 in terms of what, we budgeted. But what is the difference? Which one does what? Do you recall?
So the first equipment maintenance, the smaller one, is for like the equipment on the vehicles when they need to be maintained, when that type of stuff needs to be worked on or updated.
Okay.
The second one is the actual fleet themselves, maintenance on the fire engines, the utilities, the command staff vehicles.
Okay.
And then in addition, this report, if you notice, it's actually the close of the 23-24 budget cycle, so it actually has all the numbers that are showing what our closing numbers were for that
all of our
physical year.
actuals. Yeah,
Yes.
which was very good. Does anybody else have any questions on the financials? Okay.
Good point there. For clarification, I don't know if it's easy or easy enough to change the 7363 to read apparatus or vehicles, something like that. Can't do maintenance.
Ben?
If I may, those numbers are in the FIN system that we use for all of our claims, so none of these descriptions can be changed.
we have to try to recall. So I ask it every other meeting. Okay, thank you. Any other questions on the financials? All right, do I have a move to accept the financial status as presented?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that will pass, and we'll move on to the development impact fee calculation and nexus report.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and call up our Fire Marshal, Mike Lamonaco, to give you a report.
Thank you, Chief. So back in February board meeting, we brought forward to you guys revising our Nexus and Master Facilities Plan. We contracted out to RCS. They provided us with an updated version, which is in your packet. And that has to be redone every 5 years. And big shout out to both Chief Kovac, Grace, Noah. They all worked extremely hard on getting that facilities master plan to accurately depict where we need funding. And that's what this is all about. So once that's completed, then we can basically work our mitigation fees off of that. So there's a chart there. It's Exhibit A of the development impact fees, where normally that annually gets increased by a percentage. You'll see this year we didn't use the percentage because our categories and our needs had changed. So you'll see those new numbers that don't reflect a percentage. And then going on from here out, every year we'll go with the annual cost percent increase and it'll bump up from there.
Okay, this was just fabulous information. I just have to tell you, I made it through the entire report with just only a few questions. And at first glance, when you're looking at it, and it shows our current fees on the industrial manufacturer uses going down, it was, okay, why? And I was going to say, I've got to ask Mike. But no, I really didn't, because it's very well explained in the report. And I love the way it is tailored to all of our issues that we are addressing right now in terms of our stations that we need to build, land that we need to procure. But I did have one question, Mike, because on page 25, Schedule 3.1, it talks about purchase land for Station 63. But then later it does show that we already own it. Is that if we were to get the additional lot, it's an $1.5 million thing?
Thank you.
Also detailed on page 48, because I have the same question.
Yeah.
Got here.
And so that's just because we already have that land free and clear. So that's just if we're adding that additional lot. Is that correct?
Correct. That was expanding that lot.
Okay. That's
The talk had been training tower,
Right.
prevention, the whole.
right. Okay. Okay. Because this is such a great, I think, blueprint for us going forward on, and for facilities, I guess Noah's working that, and for you on what exactly amount we can use for the projects that are coming up and know that that is a set funding source. So the timing on this was just wonderful. I think we were overdue doing it too, weren't we?
It should be done every 5 years. We were about 8 years when
Yeah,
we did ours.
yeah.
So
So the
we'll keep it
timing-
on track every 5 this time.
Okay, the timing was great. And those are my only comments and questions
Can I
since you already
piggyback onto
answered.
that question?
Yeah.
Because I was noticing the land acquisition costs as well, but the NCS, that's, I'm referring to the NCS, page 48. It states like we're, in fact, going to decide to relocate the headquarters, for instance, the office. When in fact, we've never made that decision that I'm aware of. I mean, we've discussed it, and sometimes it was no, and sometimes it was yes, and we're going to renegotiate a new lease at our current facility. So I'm just, I'm not quite sure. So the budget of $3 million for the Station 63 seems excessive for things that we've talked about, but not, is this just in anticipation of a maybe?
Well, for that, this would be the pie in the sky.
Okay, that's fine?
This is what we're aiming for.
Okay.
And that's how much we could use.
But
Yeah.
I think this board and staff needs to have a discussion, we've talked about this, like a workshop, about,
We talked about having a workshop in September, I think, so we'll hopefully still be on track for that.
I think that would be helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions on the report?
No,
Okay, it was great information, so thank you, Mike. So we will then move to adopt the development impact fee calculation and Nexus report, our new development impact fees. We need a motion to adopt those.
I so move.
Do I- Oh, excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
This is a roll call vote.
all right.
Susie Cawthon,
Aye.
Jenna Jenkins.
Aye.
Randy McLeod,
Aye.
John Nicoli.
Aye.
Doug Qualls.
All right, wonderful. I love the calculations based on use and who needs us where, and so that was fabulous. Okay, shall we move on to item I, which is consideration of accepting the state mandated annual fire inspection report in compliance with SB 1205.
Yes, ma'am. Again, I'm going to have Fire Marshal Mike Lamonaco give the report.
All right, so in 2018, the state basically required that we report certain occupancy inspections, schools, hotels, motels, things like that. So I'm required to report those to my administering authority, which is the board. So this report basically puts together, it's broken down into each type, and you can see we hit 84% of our state mandated this year. A little bit lower than we were last year.
So what does that mean? I mean, there's not a punitive, we didn't hit 100% thing. Is that just a goal, or do you hear back from the state that you better get out and get that other school that you didn't get, or whatever?
None of this information goes to the state level. I'm only required to basically pass this on to you guys, which still seems a little odd, but this is the thing. And again, our goal is to hit that 100% mark. Staffing was an issue for us, and that's why we were a little below where I wanted to be.
I'm aware of that, so, thank you. I know when we got the 190 of the 225, I was like, so are we gonna go back and catch up on some of those in the next quarter, or how do we do that?
The ones that
Start
were
over.
missed will be the priorities.
To start for
Yep.
next time?
So this is for the calendar year 23,
Right.
which is even weirder. We're doing this kind of at the fiscal basis, but they want a calendar year.
Okay,
It's the state.
And how
So
are these-
like right now, we still have the end of 2024, so the goal will be make sure anything that was missed in 23 will have been done in 2024, so we're not missing them for 2 years in a row.
How do you schedule these out, Mike? I mean, you don't just, as you have time, you go do it, or do you ahead of time schedule these out and then try to hit that schedule?
So they're done two ways. Our engine companies participate in a lot of these inspections, and they're given them quarterly. So every quarter in our computer system, I'll push them out to the engine companies, and that's the group that they have to knock out that quarter. And then they work progressively through the year. The schools, prevention does all the schools, and we normally do those in September, early October, because we want to catch the new school year, talk to any new teachers, break all the bad habits as quickly as we can. And those are scheduled out. Same with Grand Vita, places like that. Those are scheduled ahead of time.
So the 16% that were missed, is that a particular group or type of structure, dwelling, whatever?
So if you look at the breakdown, the place where we missed or we didn't get to the most would be our apartments, condo complexes, and the townhouses. So the state changed it to if you have over 3 townhouses or 3 condos together, you're now part of the mandated inspection program. So that changes. So that's where we missed the mark the most.
And
The
that-
schools, we missed 1.
Okay.
And scheduling just never worked out. It was, I can't remember the name of it now, but I know it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking how we overcome this. 'Cause I think it's at least 2 years in a row now that we've missed by, not an insignificant number. Is there?
I think we were 94% last year.
Don't remember
So
it that
we
high,
de-
but
we
okay.
definitely took a drop.
Yeah. So your thought is, how do we not be that way next time?
Well, staffing is key, and right now I have hopefully 2 lined up to be hired here shortly. So 2024 may not be what we're hoping to see, but 2025 I'm anticipating 100%.
Okay, just by diligence, I think you're saying if you miss them, you do know about them. You know
We don't. Well, I could
as you
I could
miss
go
them.
through the program and tell you exactly which ones we didn't get to.
And you knew it as it was happening, I guess. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not a surprise at the end of the year.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I hope we can kind of redouble or find opportunities for that. We wouldn't want to like trade training to do that, I understand. But, you know, just looking at what our options are as we go forward would, yeah,
Right.
be helpful. I encourage you in that, so. But 84% is a big number, and so that's a huge amount of inspection, but it'd be nice to close the gap to
I agree.
95% or something like that, yeah.
I'd like to see 100.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
So if you have to catch up on the other ones, does that put you even further behind for next year? Is that even a larger amount than if you need to catch up on the ones that weren't hit? Is
No,
that going to
so-
be even harder?
Every year they have to be done.
Yeah.
So we're not going to inspect them twice next year
Oh.
because we missed them once this year.
Okay.
I-
So once
if
they're
they
missed
don't
in a
make
year,
the
they
cut
just
one
don't
year,
get-
they just didn't get touched.
As I understand it, the ones that you start with are the ones that didn't get touched for 2023. Have we already completed those for 2024? Okay,
Yeah, so anything we didn't do in 2023 has already been done in 2024.
okay,
So you roll it over, that's good.
Yeah.
okay. Any other?
We make sure there isn't 2 years in a row that we've missed the same property.
Any other questions on the report? All right, then we do need a motion to accept the report on the state of all state mandated. Okay. I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thanks, Mike, very much. So item J is resolution number 2024-11, resolution of the Board of Directors of the Summerland Fire Protection District in matter of the adoption of the final budget for the fiscal year 2024-2025. So Chief, do you want to talk about that?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to keep it simple and then open it to questions. So my board report explains or represents any adjustments or changes that have been needed since the preliminary proposed budget was presented 4 months ago at a board meeting and voted in by this board. All three funds now have a balance of revenues and expenditures. It's completely balanced in all three funds with those changes. And then your resolution 2024-11, the number on that resolution represents all three funds combined for your total budget. And then I'm open to any questions if you have some.
No, but I do appreciate the amendments of when we know the expenses have changed, so we don't, we're proactive on that instead of looking like we're overspending. So I appreciate those. Anybody else have any questions on our budget? No, I feel like we've talked about it and we're healthy, and I appreciate all of your work on this, everybody. So I need a move to adopt the budget, and this will be a roll call vote.
I'll make a motion to adopt the budget for 24-25.
All in, now Grace, give us the roll call.
Susie Cawthon.
Aye.
Jenna Jenkins.
Aye.
John Nicoli.
Aye.
Doug Qualls.
Aye.
Randy McLeod.
Aye.
Fabulous. We are set. Okay, item K, budget finalization staff report.
Thank you. So in front of you is a staff report, and in that report, it's regarding the 23-24 budget that we just finalized. In that budget, we are allocating funds to transfer into our capital facilities reserve and our capital equipment replacement accounts. The 2023-24 budget ended with the funds needed, plus additional funds to make those transfers. So it takes board motion to make those transfers into committed funds. So board approval is needed. Please review the considerations I have. So not only am I looking to move what was planned in that budget, because we do have some additional funds, I want to beef those budgets up because we're doing heavy stuff to our facilities and our fleet. So you see in my board report, I actually have a little increase in what I'd like to move into the capital accounts, and I'm just looking for approval to make those moves.
I move that we approve the increase in the allocations to committed funds as presented by Chief in our budget finalization.
I'll second it.
Any questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
That just does my heart so good. We continue to get ready, not this one. Grace does a great job telling me what is, and what isn't. Okay, so item L, purchase installation of the locution station alerting system.
Okay, thank you. So Battalion Chief Noah Tunney has done all the work on this project. He's on a much-needed vacation, so I'm going to do my best to explain what his incredible work has been. So the location station alerting system has been identified as needed from previous budget and is now ready for implementation. Most, if not all, the agencies in the county are transitioning to the state-of-the-art alerting system for alignment with the Regional Dispatch Center. The primary location dispatch model will be utilized by the Regional Dispatch Center. The proposal is for purchase and installation at Station 6-1, including the annex building. The zone alerting, along with heart ramp tones and lights, improve the impact of first responder cardiac health. The improvement to health and wellness, along with operational efficiency, is identified as a goal in our 2022 strategic plan. The updated cost was just reviewed in the budget that you approved, so the cost has gone up from when it was first presented. So please review the report from Battalion Chief Tunney, including the updated costs to purchase and install the system.
Did everybody have a chance to review?
Given my use of the cardiac care system, I think we should definitely approve this.
I had a question, Chief, if I forgot it. Does this go out for bid? I mean, how many people make these systems? Do you know?
So this was, this didn't go out to bid because this has to be in alignment with what's going to be the main module at the Regional Dispatch Center. So virtually every agency, I think there's one or two now looking if they have the funds, are switching to this program. So we got to be in alignment with what the signal is that's coming to us.
So that was at a higher level or a bigger?
Yes,
That decision was made?
that is correct.
Questions I didn't know?
I do recall that about approximately 10 years ago, this project was in its infancy and beginning that we needed to do this. And it was actually Noah who brought that to my attention.
That is correct.
So it's been a labor of a lot of work to get here, and I'm very, very excited about the purchase of this finally. So we need to have an approval to purchase and install the location station alerting system for Fire Station 61. Do I have a motion to spin?
That motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that's great. And then item M, Fire Station 61 kitchen and day room remodel staff report.
Okay, thank you again. This is, all the work again is from Battalion Chief Noah Tunney, so I'm going to do my best to represent him. At the November 1st, 2023 Board of Directors meeting, the Station 61 kitchen and day room remodel option number 2 plan was presented to the board through the final review of the Facilities Committee. The project was passed unanimously by the board with a preliminary cost estimate of $526,128. The next step was to develop architectural plans and engineer a conceptual rendering of the project. Then an invitation to bid for the project was issued on May 20th, 2024. The bid from Godkin Design Building Incorporated was received, and it was at $630,899, which included updated costs for current market, and there was a need to retrofit of a header to support the load required by the engineer. The updated cost was just reviewed in our budget, so we have the money now allocated in the budget, and it will be transferred from the accumulated capital outlay fund. So please review the proposed contract by Godkin Design and determine if we want to award the contract to them.
I thought it was very thorough. I loved the pictures. I kept wishing that that was what they were actually going to do for us. But those pictures are not actually our station pictures, just so you're all aware.
It's so big.
I know. So do I have any questions? Okay, John?
So, one of the things I'd like to make sure everybody the board notices in the Godkin report, on their page 6, there's several items that are not included here. So this isn't the end of at 6:30. This is going to be, and some of these things may not happen. If we need any surveying, if you notice the last 4 items on this page. Surveying of the property lines, I don't think we'll have to have any of that, but that'd be my guess. But furniture and furnishings, we'll have to buy.
Well, we have those in a separate account, so that's in a separate line item on our
Yeah, but I
budget.
think we should know this project, what its total costs
Uh-huh.
are. I think, you know, and solar panels, I'm not sure that we are doing that. But it, you know, it's probably not a bad idea.
That was not part of this project that I'm aware of.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, this is But I think the bigger one is gonna be, final plan check and permit fees. The city permit fees are gonna be pretty staggering. I think they'll exceed $100,000. I could be wrong, but everybody's complaining about the fees that are being charged by the city for any project, small or large. I would think that the fire department would get a discount from the city, but I'm not so sure that's gonna happen, because they also have a budget to fill. But I just want the board to be aware, and everybody to be aware, that we're gonna exceed 630 on this project. And I wouldn't be surprised if we hit 700.
I'll kind of hitchhike onto what John observed there. The solar panels, I understand that that's not even a consideration. It might be a boilerplate thing that he just throws in there that it doesn't include. The final plan check and review and permits, I'll ask the question, are we responsible for getting those ourselves, or will the contractor walk that through the city?
I would have to look at how I have the invitation to bid right here, if that requirement is in there. I honestly didn't read if that is in there, but in my normal expectation, when I've done this in the past, that the contractor does that as part of their package. But the cost, they do have delineated that the cost on that, those fees are gonna be not part of their proposal.
So I do have a question, and it's based on some experience that I've had in my previous life. And John alluded to it, in terms of a discount. Whenever, my experience has been that we can make a formal request to the governing body, in this case the city council, to see if they would either, as a professional intergovernmental courtesy, waive those fees or reduce those. And I know that there's, and I don't know the relationship to agencies well enough to know if I'm even out of line asking about that. But I know that there's always considerations if they're using a contract firm to review the plans on behalf of the city or not. That plays into it as well. But so, your comment?
No, I think we could definitely approach the city with that idea and report back. My perspective is if these fees go over the threshold of not only the budget we have, or even if it's over the $10,000 mark, I got to report it back to the board to get approval anyways. So as these things kick in, I can give you an update on our findings, and we could certainly approach the city see if there's some kind of cooperative effort towards those fees.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and your experience, Doug, because and I just discussed this with the board. It's really difficult to judge one of these things, you know? It's like, I've never bought something like this before, and the cost seems to keep going up and up, and I don't know, you know, where's the end where you say, okay, this is out of line as compared to something. I have nothing to benchmark this with. And maybe I'm just forlorn here. I don't know if anyone has anything to suggest. I mean, how do you, say it goes to $1 million. What do we say? Oh, well, it's $1 million.
Yeah.
Doug, have you gone through this before?
You know, if John mentioned a figure of maybe $100,000 for plan check and permits, that I've never had any experience
Yeah.
with those type of dollars. But continuing your thoughts, Randy, is that, you know, the $600+ figure for the remodel, it's hard to gauge if it is out of line or not, because we only got one bid. And I don't think that's to any fault to the districts at all. They were very diligent in laying out the bidding process and what we expected on behalf. And unfortunately, we just got one bid that followed everything that needed to be done. And so it is sort of a conundrum, if you will, that we don't have anything to compare it to.
I think, I'm sorry.
That-
Well,
I-
when you look at what we've had to spend, you know, and what the current costs are in the market on just small renovations of bathrooms and all of that kind of, it seemed very much in line to me. And I also want to point out to the board, this is a contractor that I feel fortunate to work with again. They've worked so well with all of our team and have the quality of the work that they've done, the timeliness of the work that they've done, and within a budget has been, there haven't been major overhauls. The engineer thing threw a wrench in this one with what we needed to shore up, but this building has not had any TLC in, 50 years, really. And so I feel like, to me, this is not out of line in terms of an expenditure for what we're doing. But that's just my experience.
And I did notice that we've utilized this contractor, and clearly his bid, he's clearly professional, and having the experience is a big advantage, So I'll just quantify my comments by saying, yeah, there's sticker shocks. It would be nice to have another one, but I certainly would not hesitate, and I agree that things are just not what they used to be.
And it's a local firm too, which I like
But
using a
does it
Carpinteria
require a
firm.
little market research? I mean, is
No,
that?
we did, if you read the
Yeah.
board, we did everything that we had to do on the RFPs and went out from Ventura over. I mean, Noah did an amazing job. So these are the way I look at it this is the firm that wants the job. And I want somebody that wants the job.
And they've done work for us
Yeah.
previously, but we know their quality of work. And remember, this bid is substantially higher from the original cost estimate that we received because of the beam. There is the beam over the header of on the first floor's header. It has to be replaced because we're adding square footage and expanding the building over that door. So that is alone is gonna, and you guys are even gonna have to work around that because you're gonna be without that door for several weeks, probably. So but yeah, that's around $100,000. And just so everybody knows, because Noah and I have talked about this project several times, out of meetings, obviously. And I didn't know his mom had passed and he was on vacation, so I had texted him this morning, because we often did on meeting days, and said, and I wanted to talk to him a little bit about this. He said, well, I'm on vacation. He didn't tell me about his mom, but I knew of her health issues. And I said, no, you don't have to do that. You're on vacation. Go. No, Noah. This is Noah. The Noah I know said, no, let's talk about this. And we did, probably 10 or 15 minutes, and we were done. But so he confirmed a lot of the stuff on my questions as well. So.
Yeah, the only thing I'm going to add is when only the one bid came in, Noah and myself did bring Mark Mannion back in the loop, and he reviewed the whole process and said, unfortunately, we only had one bidder, but we did all the steps right, and we're okay to move forward.
Yeah, okay, those are valid points. I needed to hear something. I think that past work quality is meaningful. If you only get one bid, that's meaningful. So, other than that, all you'd have is someone maybe go down through some of the items and, check them. But when I look at the individual line items, none of them are astronomical. So, I mean, the appliances are, stand out. But I do know that simply replacing a beam, which we've had to do in our church, cost $80,000. So I know that's, that kind of work is not what you'd expect. So, understood. Okay, I appreciate the discussion.
Is there any further discussion? Then I will request a motion to consider approval of awarding the contract to Godkin Design Build in the estimated project cost of $630,899.
I'll make
I'll do that.
All right, somebody make it a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. This is going to be exciting. Item N is our admin report.
I wouldn't want to be living in that building when it's going on.
Well, we're so lucky that we have that annex they can have
Well,
for a
but
kitchen.
it's still
It's
gonna be
very
roasted.
fortunate,
And-
yeah.
And a kitchen, they're gonna be cooking meals in the other building.
Yeah, Mike is saying the building swayed a lot from that earthquake last night.
Oh, my house.
Really?
Wow, that's interesting. Okay.
Okay, here we go. Here's my report. Starting out, city lifeguard coverage. The city of Carpinteria had some lifeguard staffing issues and requested our assistance over several days. We were able to staff a tower on 4 different days with our water rescue team members and assist the city. The city agreed to pay any staffing costs that occurred overtime on our behalf, which they have been billed, and I think everything's going to be fine there. We also assisted the state Junior Lifeguards Invitational Program that you might have read about in the local media, that our water rescue members were assisting in that. Mutual aid, it's been very busy since my last report. We didn't have a meeting last month. That we have been all over this state. We have lots of people out right now. Just starting out with, we had an engine and overhead sent down to LA County called the Post Fire. We had an engine to the Thomas Fire in Butte, Orville. We had our patrol, our Type 6 engine and overhead to the Lake Fire right here in this county on the Los Padres Forest. We had overhead at the Shelley Fire and the Klamath National Forest. We had team members on overhead assignments at the Vista Fire and San Bernardino National Forest. We had overhead at the Hill Fire and the Sierra National Forest. Our Type 1 engine is at the Mill Fire and the Plumas National Forest, and we're actually doing a crew swap. They've been there 2 full weeks, and we're bringing in a fresh crew to continue that assignment. They started on another fire and then moved to the Mill Fire. And that's over by Chico, and we also have a team overhead member on the Pioneer Fire at the top of Washington State. So it's been very active, and the bulk, our real fire season comes around August, September, October. So it's already very active. Station 6-2 relocation project. I actually have some news. So the traffic plan has been approved. We are now, the next step is on the 29th of last month, dig alert had to be called, waiting for clearance. I think they got back. Now it's scheduling. Getting everybody there, and some of these people need 2 weeks' notice to be there on a certain day and time. That's the geologist, the Native American rep, the Southern Cal Gas rep, and the traffic team all have to be able to be there on site on the same day, same time, and it's just a coordination effort that we don't control. Regency is in charge of that. And so that's been, about a week since this happened. So they said it's going to take at least 2 weeks to try to coordinate getting them all there. So I'm hoping soon we're going to hear that they actually got the digging done we've been all waiting for.
I hope somebody knows how to do a doodle.
Yeah.
Could I ask you, just for clarification, that
Yes.
all the agencies getting together and needing 2-week notice, is that to actually witness the dig or just to discuss where the digging's gonna take place?
No, they need to be all on site during the dig.
So this
Yes.
is for the actual dig?
That's for the actual dig.
Okay,
They all need to
all
be
right.
on site.
Well, we're
The
getting
gas
close.
company wants to be there, traffic team has to be there, Native American, geologists, they all have to be there on site.
Okay.
One of the things we've learned, I never talked to you about this, but we manage the property just below this. Steve and I, well, Steve really does, I don't do it. But we've been a dig in the street, so, and Otega Hill Road's been all tied up. And I don't think they were on the 2 digs going simultaneously. So that extended this permitting process from the county. And it requires multiple flag up the hill, down the hill, on the site, off the site. And all of those folks were also, the Indian rep and so forth, were all at the digs then. And fortunately, in our case, there was no Indian artifacts found. So that gives me good hope that they won't be found there either.
So they've already done some preliminary review of that on the first dig. I don't know if you remember, they did a first dig that moved us 15 feet in, which we don't want. So everything cleared by the Native American group for the first dig. What we're doing is a second dig to show the fault line is underneath the road where it's mapped to actually be, but we have to prove that it's not on our property to start our 50-foot distance setback we have to have for our building. We didn't want to have to now be 65 feet off the road. That changes the whole footprint of the lot we're trying to negotiate there. So moving on, once this geology report is provided, we can now approve the final site plan. And then we're going to determine options for securing the building envelope and then begin the conceptual project schedule. So that's kind of, we're waiting for this dig to happen to really get the wheel rolling on this project. A meeting has been officially requested with Chief Nils, myself, and Mark Mannion to meet with the upper staff of Regency Innovation to discuss this project. So we want to start discussing it because it looks like it's getting ready to come together real soon here. Last thing is a fire station location standing committee meeting is set for August 20th to talk about this project. And Director Nicole, I'll meet with you after to talk about that. Okay, moving on. The Station 6-2 lot expansion. The hired land surveyors from Walters Cardenas Land Surveying Company completed their work and mapping. It's all been sent to Caltrans for review. Caltrans is now looking at the drawing, and they are now talking with each other to fine-tune that drawing. So they're like telling them, hey, you need to fix that or fix this. I'm not sure. But once they get the surveying and mapping work done, then it'll be ready to present to the next chain in Caltrans on what the next steps are for acquiring that property.
Hopefully they just say, we will donate it. Thank you very much. Yes.
There's indicators of that, but I don't want to give any false hope
I
here.
know.
The Central Temporary Station 6-3 project, so SEP's planning has been requested to give me a proposal and cost estimate for managing that project. I have it. It was literally given to me last week, and I haven't had time to sit down and review it with Mark Mannion because it's an actual contract, so I didn't have it ready for this board to approve. But I will definitely make it ready for the next meeting, and we'll get all the contract ironed out, and then we'll get them hired. And I gave them the scope of work is to do all the planning and permitting back work to put a modular building and a temporary garage on that lot that we have. You know, clear out the current greenhouses that are in the way, and then how do we get this modular temporary building going? And that's what they're hired to plan and manage that for us. So they gave us a proposal to do that work, and I'll bring it to you next month.
Wonderful. That's wonderful news.
Fire Marshal Lamonaco has also been active finding people, getting bids. This is outside of SEPS just to get things moving even quicker, and he now has a second bid of $17,100 to clear the greenhouse and partial lot clearance, which is, I think, 10,000 plus improvement on the bid I reported to you before. So we already have some movement on that I'll present to SEPS to see how that's going to work for them too. And then lastly, the 1805 event, the fundraiser concert at Kevin Costner's property on Padero Lane is going to happen on September 20th, just to make you aware of that coming up. And that is the end of my report. You have reports from all the battalion chiefs in your packet. You have your operations battalion chief to my left here, Mike Hyatt, if you have any questions on his report. You have Fire Marshal Lamonaco here, and if you have anything regarding the other two reports, I'll try to answer them for you.
No questions. Mike, you're out of the hot seat today. Okay. Let's see, where are we? On board communications, item O.
I do have some board communications. I received an email from Jeanette Gant, who is the Director of Parks and Recreation and Community Service. So she's just very thankful, so I wanted to read it so that everybody can hear it. So,
Marvelous.
Carpinteria Summerland Fire Protection District, I want to express my sincere gratitude for the ongoing support from the Carpinteria Summerland Fire Protection District and for the City of Carpinteria Parks and Recreation and Community Services Department. Your unwavering support extends beyond the call of duty, particularly in assisting our beach lifeguards each season. Your contributions to pre-summer training and the invaluable safety support during our large Carp Junior Guards Lifeguard event have been instrumental. Additionally, the scholarship you provide for the participants to attend our Junior Lifeguard program makes a significant difference in our community. This year, your readiness to assist on the beach amidst staffing shortage was a testament to your dedication and community spirit. Your willingness to step in and help is greatly appreciated and did not go unnoticed. I look forward to our continued partnership and want to thank you once again for all you do. Sincerely, Jeanette Gant, Director of Parks and Recreation and Community Services.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us, Jenna, and thank you.
Can I add to that? So, I mean,
Yeah,
I
the
got to
people
give
do.
kudos to the troops.
Yeah.
So some of the timeframes they needed was like 10 to 2 a.m., kind of the middle of the day, and we had people that came in from home, which pretty much kills their whole day to help this program out because they felt like it was important to help out. So, I mean, I want to give kudos to the troops that aren't here, but they stepped up and did it.
That's great.
Well, we may want to archive that and make sure we have it when we go to ask for an abatement.
I made him a copy, John.
It's the Carp Summerland spirit. That's awesome to hear. Any other board communications? Okay, seeing none. Item P, upcoming agenda items. Do we have anything that we want to direct me to add to the agenda?
Madam President, yes, I would like to bring something up. When I was going through, it was actually item H. There was a table that talked about our reserve funds and the interest that we receive on those funds. And it kind of perked my interest, and I saw, if my calculations are correct, those funds are earning about 2%, which I think is very low by today's standards and what's available out there. So it's sort of a question here is, am I correct that these funds are being held by the county and invested in whatever investment
At this, yeah, for upcoming agenda items, what we would need to do is ask that be elaborated on at our next meeting as an agenda item.
That's what
We can't- yeah,
that's what I
moving on.
intend to do.
Yeah,
here.
okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
And so I would like to find out about that. And along with that, if that's the case, I would at some point like to hear what other options may be available in terms of our cash reserves, that we might make sure those are being managed in the most advantageous. And there may be opportunities, there may not. So I would just like a report on that at some point, and if the rest of the board agrees.
No, that would be great. I would love to see that on the agenda, and we will
Thank you very
definitely
much.
place that on. Yes, thank you. Okay, any other upcoming agenda item requests? All right, seeing none, that would be, the next item on our agenda would be to call for adjournment. Thank you, Jenna. I'll second. All in favor? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.